Let us go up north. You know, what's your Peter Bukowski has been on the show before. Bears fans love him, slash hate him to the end of the earth. I appreciate him coming on. Peter's been doing his Packers pod for how long now, Greg?
Long time.
Peter, I want to ask you, what's your favorite stat right now of Bears Packers? Is it the 10 in a row that the Packers have won? Is it 15 of 16 or 25 of 28? What's your favorite?
I like 25 of 28. Just it really gives you the scope of how long this ass kicking has been going on.
Oh, wow.
It's true. 25 of 28.
That's insane.
That's so nauseating. Rags, how do you still do this every day?
I don't want to. I mean, Peter, when you look at what's going on, I know you pay close attention to what's going on in the Bears landscape. Are you surprised to see just how fast it fell off from London to now? It's only been a few weeks since London. It feels like a year, but it's been a precipitous fall off from the 4-2 Bears to now the 4-5 Bears, where it's a mass exodus of firings and calling for benchings and all sorts of other things.
I think if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have said no. Like I didn't think they were ever quite 4-2 good, but I certainly would not have predicted a 19-3 game against the freaking New England Patriots. Like that is a level of dysfunction that I did not see coming at all. I just thought the defense was too good for that. They had too many playmakers on offense to score 3 points against the Patriots. It's pretty staggering to see where they are right now. I was never as high on Shane Waldron as some people were. And that was from talking to like people that covered the Seahawks. You guys have like an all-time great moment with Jackson Smith-Njigba that I actually asked Braggs I said, can you send me that tweet? And then the next day he got fired. So it's like one of those things that I don't think anyone could have predicted it would go like this. And like, I'm someone who, if I would have believed that, I would tell you and I'd take the victory lap, but this is even worse, frankly, than I thought it would be. It's even a little disappointing, I would say, from a Packers perspective, because like Bears fans love to yap, and I thought they'd finally have a team that could match the yapping, and they kind of don't.
We don't right now. Of course, we're trying to get all our mojo back by beating the Packers on Sunday here, Peter. The Bears are going to try to turn their season around with their first division game.
Kind of the perfect time for that, right? Like, isn't this the perfect medicine for them? Just to get hype about something. Like, let's get excited to go play football.
Right.
I don't think Bears fans, I mean, we've always kind of dreaded this matchup, but I think Bears fans, this is the most dreaded I think we've ever gone into a Bears-Packers matchup.
Well, Peter, the Pack has given up 22 plus in their last 3 games. Do you see a scenario where the Bears offense can get well here?
I think I would be more confident from a Bears perspective if the Packers pass rush wasn't predicated on precisely the things that have beguiled this offensive line all season. That is stunts, that is blitzes. They just don't pass things off well. Part of that is because, as you guys know, it's been backups. It's been a rotating cast up there. And so Tevin Jenkins is in this week, but not next week, or he was not in last week, but now he's in this week, and the guy he's playing next to is not the guy he played with the last time he played. Like, those things all have a trickle-down effect that make it really hard to communicate, and that's in addition to Caleb Williams being a quarterback who holds the ball too long, going back to USC, who runs himself into pressure. And I don't know, what is your perspective on why he seems so afraid now to make plays outside of structure? Like it's almost like he wants to prove a point. Is this my buddy Lauren Cox over at Locked On Bears thinks this is a Matt Eberflus problem, that he's just been so insistent on not turning the ball over? Like, what is your perspective on why that's happening? It is crazy to me to watch him play now, given the way that I watched him play at USC.
Yeah. Glenn, Peter, nice to meet you. To answer that question, I think he's trying to be perfect. I think he's trying to make all the right plays every single time, and it's impossible to do. So he's not playing free. He's not quite robotic, but he's playing with too much caution in his mindset. He's not afraid. I don't think that he is certain someone's caught by deer in the headlights. It's not that kind of situation, I believe. I think he's trying to do the right thing all the time, and by consequence, he's not doing most things right at all. And so that's what we're seeing play out.
Did they put too much on his plate? Trying to say you're going to do everything at the line of scrimmage. You're going to set protections. You're going to be able to audible. You're going to be able to how about we just focus on you making a throw from A to B first, like most rookie quarterbacks, rather than having you do everything.
You saw that play out just this past weekend when you saw Drake May do exactly what you just mentioned. Keep it simple for him. Make it so he doesn't have to do too much. The other thing, and I talked about hubris earlier, the other thing was, why was there no veteran quarterback on this team? We haven't had one for the last couple of years. Bagent is not going to teach him anything that Caleb may not have already. Caleb's already played more games than Bagent, okay, professionally. So that was hubris on that part. So who is Caleb going to learn from in terms of on-the-field acumen?
Well,
that person doesn't exist.
They had Nathan Peterman around here last year. And
stop with that Nathan Peterman. I went to Tennessee. He started there. He couldn't hold his water there. You're cursing at me when you say Nathan Peterman.
But
don't do that.
So you wanted an established veteran.
Well, right. Not Ryan Griffin.
Now
Because they brought Ryan Griffin into the staff.
Here's a great.
We're having a fight here, Peter.
Who looked pretty good in preseason?
I'll just lay out.
Rippon didn't look bad in preseason. Rippon's been in the league for a while. Rippon's not someone that's going to necessarily challenge Caleb. He has enough experience and how to practice, how to see film, all those kind of things. The other thing, and you and I talked about it a little bit, I believe, was that this is going back several months before the draft happened, but you knew you were going to take Caleb, and you knew Shane Waldron was going to be your head coach. Why would you not get maybe someone like Drew Lock? I'm not saying he's the greatest quarterback in the world, but he's been in the league for a while. He knows Waldron's system. Someone that can help implement and understand the whys and the wherefores.
It's a fair point. Peter, let's lean back to you here. What do you, the Jordan Love part of this equation? A lot of talk this year, taking too many chances, and I'm like, okay, I still think this is a hell of a quarterback they got up there, and we saw it literally in his first game against the Bears, looking so comfortable last year in the opener. What's your interpretation? Tell us what you're seeing from Jordan so far this year.
Yeah, I think he is a quarterback who is clearly very comfortable now taking all the risks that he wants to take. I think there might have been part of him in year one where he wants to do the Matt LaFleur thing. He wants to prove he can run the offense. And he did, right? And we saw in the second half last year, from this point, this very week, the joke is that once Toyotathon happens, Jordan Love is a different guy. That 18 touchdowns and 1 interception the rest of the season. Now I think he's willing to say, look, against pressure, I'm not just going to dirt this ball. I'm going to try and make a throw between coverage because my confidence in my ability to do that is really high. And it leads to some volatility. It leads to, and Matthew Stafford has a very similar trait. They are very similar quarterbacks to me, where their best, you just go, holy crap. I don't know if anyone can make that throw the way that he just did that. And then there are times where you go, holy crap, why did he try and do that? And I think that that's always going to be part of his game. And I've asked Matt LaFleur about it. I said, how do you ride that line with him? And LaFleur is pretty dismissive about the turnovers. He does not think it's a problem at all. They're going to continue to empower Jordan Love to do the things that he's good at, because you watch the throw that he made to Jaden Reed a couple weeks ago against the Rams, and you go, that corner probably should have made that play. But he thinks there's no way Jordan is going to make this throw. There's no way he's going to attempt to throw over the top of a 2-shell safety look. There's no way. And then he does, and he's got a baseball turn, and he never finds the ball. And then it's all of a sudden it's a perfect throw right into Jaden Reed's lap. If you want those plays, you have to live with some of the, I'm falling out of bounds and I'm going to try and throw it. And it goes right to a Rams defender and it's a pick six. You're going to live with some of that volatility because he can, as I said, make throws that just no one else can make. If you can put him in situations where he's not having to do crazy stuff, where he's fully healthy, I think the injury has been a big part of it. It's 2 injuries now with the groin and the knee. A fully healthy Jordan Love is not going to take the same number of risks that a not healthy Jordan Love would.
Well, our expert here on the staff, Mark Carman.
Thank you.
He's easily the smartest person in our whole
Correct.
CHGO Bears team. He proves that day in and day out.
Thank
He
you.
says that Caleb Williams needs to start throwing interceptions, and that'll actually help improve his game. So to your point, with Jordan Love, yes, Carm?
If you're a coach, don't you have to do that? Don't you have to say, we can live with interceptions? We can deal with you making big, loud mistakes if you make big, what's the big time throw PFF stat? It's in the last month, he's made 1 turnover worthy or 0 turnover worthy plays, but 1 big time throw. It's you can't win like that.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, we are trying to look at Caleb Williams and Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky and figure out who's a quarterback that is going to meet the echelon that you guys have been used to. So we don't know what great quarterback play looks like at training camp. we're still trying to figure out
Yes,
when you
we
get
do.
when you get into a regular season, not on a daily repetition.
We just
basis.
haven't seen it.
That's what I'm saying. So it's one of those things to try to understand, the line from, conservative play to dynamic play and how you reach that point. I know we got to wrap up with you here in a moment. So, Peter, I just wanted to ask you, going into this game here on Sunday, what is your expectation? Obviously, the Packers certainly can get to the quarterback. One of the top teams in takeaways. I think maybe the top team in takeaways. And obviously an offense that's struggling. And then on the other side of the ball, you got Matt Eberflus versus Matt LaFleur, with Matt Eberflus on the hot seat, a very, very hot seat. So I'm just curious what your expectation of what this game's going to look like on Sunday.
Yeah, I do think it is interesting. And I talked about this on my show. I talked about it on social media, that there's this perception that the Packers offense is struggling, and they're 5th in offensive DVOA and 8th in EPA per play. They've been a top 10 offense all year, even with 2.5 games of Malik Willis. I think they're going to get healthy this week. I think that the Packers, their run, the one thing, and I said this I did a stream the other day, when a team has a bad run defense, the Bears are 30th in run defense DVOA. Coaches have no problem just saying, we're going to run the ball 40 times today. If you have a bad passing defense, sometimes you can lull a team into being a little more aggressive than you should be. Teams are just going to run and run and run. And we saw that against the Colts with Malik Willis. They ran it almost 50 times for 250 yards. The Packers with Josh Jacobs, top 5 rushing offense. I think they're going to run the ball on this Bears defense. And if they try and start playing single high, that's when the Packers can go over the top with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs and Tucker Kraft, who's developed into a really, really good football player for this team. So I think Green Bay is going to score more points than the Bears, which is all you need to do. I think this is one of those, how many times have the Bears scored 20 points this year? 3. 24 points this year. I think it's 3 offensive points. I think maybe it's 2. So I think this is one of those 24 to 14 kind of games, 20 to 14 kind of games.
Scared. So you're scared. That's what this is. Because you're hedging here, Peter. I mean, come on.
Unpredictable new
On
quarterback.
Monday, I sent my prediction.
I think the Packers are going to win by 2 scores. That's not hedging. I think it's going to be 24-14, something like that.
Because I put my score prediction in Monday morning and said Packers win 52-17. So because I'm mad at the team right now. So,
Greg,
well, the odds makers agreed with you because they made it 6.5 when the look ahead line was 3, and then it's already come down a point since the OC firing. And I think it's always should be in that 5 on the road, a divisional game. This is a 1-score kind of game. Most times, I just think that the matchups here are pretty bad. And I think that the vibes in Chicago are all time bad. I mean, the whole thing of not getting 9 sacks and you can't help your quarterback up at the end of the football game. It's got to be a Patriots player. And you have Bears offensive linemen watching the Patriots player help your quarterback up. What the actual, I don't know if I can say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. That is, the vibes are so bad. Players walking off the field. I can't remember, even in all of the bad years of Chicago, stuff like this is next level craziness that I can't remember happening in Chicago. It's really bad.
We are great entertainment, though. Hey, Peter, thanks for making time, my friend. Appreciate it. And
all right, guys.
He said I was level-headed on Twitter. Can you believe that?
I mean,
I've tricked him.
Yeah, I don't know what. Your relationship is a beautiful one. Peter, we'll see you again end of the year, hopefully. Take care, brother.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
We all silly like the mayor.